Hello. Uh, Thought I'd make this video today because I cut a couple CDs in, and I have never shown anything or discussed this band, even though they've been around almost as long as I've been alive. I preceded them by 2 years, I believe. But this band's been around, have had their fair share of ups and downs, have had since they've been a band. Two people that were a part of this band have passed away that I know of. There might be more. I don't honestly know. Admittedly, as long as this band's been around and as long as I've been a fan of rock and metal, I'm not a historian of this band by any way, shape, or form. I respect their contribution they've made to the rock world, as many people out there around the world do. So I thought I'd give them a little time on my channel and discuss them a little bit for whoever watches this. Um, Before I begin, though, I would like to say to Clarko Vision, congratulations on another great box from Santa Jim, as he called himself. Um, and I personally want to, on behalf of the music community, thank Jim for all his generosity he's shown to each and every one of us. But anyway, the crux of this video is a band that, again, I mentioned has been around a lot, yada yada yada, that I've not discussed on my channel, and that band is ACDC. ACDC is a band I remember hearing of back in their early 80s. Probably I first caught notice of them in their Highway to Hell album. I don't remember, was that the last album Bond made with them or not? Because if I remember correctly, I'd have to check up on it. Back in Black, wasn't that the next album after Highway to Hell? I don't remember. But I know, of course, I know Back in Black was the first album that Brian Johnson made with them after Bon Scott's passing. But anyway, I picked up a couple ACDC things ordered from Amazon. And the ones I decided to pick up are, I might as well show you first. The album that's making the buzz in the rock world now. Much like Judas Priest, all the positive reviews this album has been getting piqued my interest in revisiting ACDC again, just like Firepower. The name of the Judas Priest album almost escaped me for a second. Just like Firepower did with Judas Priest, Power Up is doing the same thing for ACDC in my mind. And, I've heard some of the albums previous to this one, and what people have said, I agree with. This beats the more recent ACDC catalog. Somebody went as so far to say that this is the best album since For Those About to Rock. Opinion is subjective. I don't know, but in my mind, this definitely is the best one since Ball Breaker. Ball Breaker is a ACDC album I happen to enjoy. Or did they say the best since the Razor's Edge? Well, it doesn't matter. Razor's Edge, there are songs on that one I enjoy too, like Thunderstruck and Love and The Money Talks. But anyway, we're talking about this one. I haven't listened to every track on here, but I've YouTubed several of them. I've listened to several of them on my digital copy before this arrived today. And I agree, this is definitely better than the last previous two ACDC albums. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen countless videos of people showing the picture in the gatefold of the album or the CD. CD rests in here. The book in here. And there's a picture that's on the back of the vinyl. There doesn't seem to be lyrics in here, just a bunch of pictures. And of course, a lot like, well, just like, I should say, Back in Black was dedicated to the memory of Bon Scott. Of course, this one was dedicated to the memory of Malcolm Young. Matter of fact, in an interview I heard from Brian Johnson, he said Malcolm and Angus Young wrote a bulk of these songs like 9 years ago. I think they were making either Stiff Upper Lip or Rock or Bust or Black Eye. One of the, I lose track of the order of the AC/DC albums, but one of the albums that came before this, they were still recording that album when Angus and Malcolm started writing these songs. And the song that stood out to me so far, and like a lot of people have said, but it's true, it's a standout track, is the song Through the Mist of Time. Partly because it in some ways doesn't sound like a typical AC/DC song. AC/DC gets a lot of people complaining that they do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I guess they basically have admitted to it. And they said that, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this song, Through the Mist of Time, they did a little something different. Not drastically different. You can still tell it's AC/DC, of course, Brian's distinctive voice. But that track really stood out to me. You know, it'd be like, I would like to see these guys, these guys do more songs like this one. I really enjoyed that song. Like I said, I've not listened to everything, but if anyone cares to comment, let me know some of your standout tracks on this, and I'll give those a listen and see what I think. I might do a proper album review once I've listened to this album a couple times. I was toying with the option to get the deluxe version of this, where they have the light up cover that the CD comes encased. This comes encased in. I thought about getting that one, but I thought, nah, it's a little too rich for my blood right now with holidays coming up and other issues. The Rona has reared its ugly head into my family. But anyway, I'm doing this video partly to get away from all of the talk of the virus. But anyway, I'm digging this album a lot. Not quite as much as the Judas Priest Firepower, but hey, it's, again, I've not listened to this nearly as much as Firepower, so it still has a chance to gain points. Now, I don't know why, but this next album, one of their older albums, of course, is one that I've always, there's nothing mind-blowing about the cover, but for some reason it's always been one of my favorite album covers I've seen of AC/DC. And I was talking about ACDC making a buzz. They made a buzz in 1985 with Fly on the Wall. Matter of fact, I even before I owned an ACDC album, I think I might have had one or two. Might have had, excuse me, I might have had Ball Breaker. I don't remember, but I remember seeing a Fly on the Wall T-shirt at like Walmart or Target, and I bought because I've always liked this cover for whatever reason, and so I thought, why not get the album in your collection? That shirt has long since faded. It was a cheaply made shirt. No wonder like it cost $6-7. But yeah, pretty much everybody knows this album. The CD's in the CD player, and the book. Since this is a reissued pressing from 2003, I believe, and the booklet in here gives a write-up on that era of the band and the making of Fly on the Wall, and pictures, of course, from that a time that I wish we could go back to for a variety of reasons, both for music and otherwise. But yeah, and ACDC, a lot like Def Leppard, and being another band who had an ACDC sound in a way with their High and Dry album. You know, people compared them to ACDC with that album. You know, both of those bands have had their ups and downs with deaths of band members and physical issues. Rick losing an arm, you know, Def Leppard's drummer Rick Allen losing an arm, Brian Johnson having hearing issues. And the way both of those men bounced back from those issues is something that I have a lot of respect for them for. Rick wasn't going to let the fact that he didn't have one of his limbs keep him from continuing to be in the band. He's like, there has to be a way for me to play drums. I'm going off on a Def Leppard tangent, but he's to be admired, and as is Brian. As is Brian Johnson. Even if he didn't get back with the band, get blessed to find technology to help him restore some of his hearing so he could get back with the band. I heard it. I was watching a couple interviews of his on YouTube just yesterday, I believe it was, and he was talking about him having the hearing issues, and of course initially being depressed and drowning some of his depression in a whiskey bottle and everything. But he says he came to a realization, I've lived a life that a lot of people have not lived. He's like, I'm in my 70s. I've lived a long life. Impact, gave people a lot of great memories through my music and everything. what happens from here on out is gravy. You know, he pretty much adopted a go with the punches attitude instead of the woe is me attitude. And I can say I respect Brian for that, and I was happy he was blessed enough to find whatever technology he found in the Netherlands, I believe, to help him with his hearing. So I respect Brian as much for his attitude about the whole thing as if not more than anything he's done with ACDC. But anyway, this video is going on a little long. It's going to take a while for it to upload, so I'll end it now. But I thought I'd give ACDC their due on my channel. Not that it will matter to them any, because I doubt that anyone from ACDC watches me. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your night. Those of you that I made aware of my situation on Facebook, we're turning the corner to recovery. At least I'm praying. And adopting Brian's attitude, we'll roll with the punches and be grateful for the life we lived to this point, and not let this defeat us. But anyway, till I talk to you again, for those about to rock, I salute you.